Wait to see the game. Here, go right here. Here it is. You're really happy. I like it. Oh man, chess is life. Life is chess. You're here with the Jedi. This is what we do. Welcome to the stream. So now this is World Open round 5. You can catch World Open round 1 through 4 on the YouTube channel, which I put in the chat already. So this is World Open round 5. Round 1, I won. Round 2, I lost. Round 3, I lost. Then round 4, I won. And here it's round 5. So here we go, guys. Let's put some lightsabers in the air. You see it in the chat. Let's get hype. Get hype in the chat real quick as we go over round 5 and watch what the Jedi does. Here we go. Here we go. Round 5. We in here, says Dota. That's right. That's right. We in here, big fella. We in here. Incognito, what's up? So what happened here? Incognito, I just see you subbed, bro. Refresh the channel or refresh your page or stuff so we can shout you out. Thanks for the sub, bro. AB, we in here. So this game, okay, is a national master. He's very strong. You can actually Google him, David Bennett. He's very strong. Now let me tell you about before, and this is my prep. This is what I do like every game. I always prep the same way. So a few hours before, I'll always be prepping. Like I'll make sure I eat, make sure I'm good, had enough water, and study. Maybe coffee if I need it, and study for the next round, especially if I know what color I'm going to have. So I know I'm going to have white this game before I go in there. And then 20 minutes before the round, like they usually do, they gave me the pairings. They like, I'm playing David Bennett. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Google it real quick, go crazy, find everything, find their name, where they stay, where they live, how long they've been on this earth, and what's their favorite color, all that stuff when you Google them to figure out what kind of player you're about to play. So I figure out, okay, he's chess.com, this and that. He's from, I think, I can't remember. It's not New York, though, but he's a coach. He's a chess coach. So I was like, oh, he's a chess coach. All right, cool. What does he play? So I found out what he played, and I was already ready. I was already kind of prepped, not prepped, but like Bennett's from DC. Thanks, dude. Thanks, Chess Dude. So yes, I was like, okay, I know what to expect. I just don't know what line he's gonna play, but I know what to expect. So you already feel a little bit of sigh of relief or something to expect to prep going in there. So you're welcome. Thanks for the content. Keep it up, man. Thanks, Incognito. Appreciate it. So here we go. I'll play the white pieces. We sit down. First off, guys, my prep is almost close to immaculate in my eyes. I mean, I was up an hour almost every game. This one included. He got in time trouble. The 2 games in a row, they got in time trouble, and I was up about an hour and some change on time. So let's see what happens. My prep's very, very good. If you're one of the students, you'll know too on how I'm going to prep you for your tournaments. So let's check this out. Let's see what happens. I'm playing white. E4, best by test. I don't play nothing else. E4. So C6, here we go. Kann. Now, at this point, I'm like, oh, I already know how to play this. I'm like, bro, this is nothing. I actually just faced this. And by the way, shout out to Josh Postuma. What's up, bro? He plays this exclusively a lot. So a lot of lines that I prep or I'm studying, you know, it's good to spar with strong players, with like really strong players. And I mean, he's approaching 2,500 USCF. He's an FM, very strong in Michigan. So he plays this exclusively all the time. E4, he plays C6. So I know I have a lot of tries against strong players with this. So I was already ready. I was already ready for this man. So as usual, I'm just blitzing out moves, not even looking at the board at this point because I'm like, I know the next 50 moves here. E4, C6, D4, D5. I play the exchange, Kann, which is takes, and then bishop d3. I'm expecting him to play something else. After knight c6, I go c3. This is still booked, by the way. Then he goes queen c7, and I almost was like, Josh, thank you. You know, almost walked up to him while he was playing his game and patted him on the back. Like, thanks, bro. I almost did because he plays this. So I know this line. Let me show you the arrows. Get crazy. I know this line so deep. Bishop f4, queen b6, queen b3, takes, pawn takes. This pawn goes here, this pawn goes here. It goes a 3rd time up to b6. You actually check them here. When the king goes to d8, it's bishop c7. There's lines where this knight goes from e2 over to g3, especially after the knight comes to f6. You snap that off, you castle in some cases, and then it's over. It's like, I know this already on this move right now. So I'm like, bro, this man is in trouble. He has no idea. He has no idea what's about to happen. So, and you know, and at this point he's thinking too. So I'm like, oh, you thinking? This is going to be a repeat of round 4. So make sure you guys go to the YouTube channel if you missed round 4, but that's on there. So big brain time. Absolutely. So I was ready. I was sitting here confident. I'm like looking around. Okay, well, let's see what he does. So I play knight e2. And bishop g4 is the usual stuff that you'll see a lot. A knight f6 is the alternative. And he played the alternative. So after that, I go bishop f4. He goes queen b3. I mean, queen b6. I go queen b3, and he sits here for like 15, 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, I got him. He don't know what to do. Because I just showed you I know what to do. If he take this, and if he don't take, I know what to do too. I just keep development going. If he never takes, I'll end up bringing the queen back, and then I'll use the queen for the attack on this file a lot of times if he never trades. And if he does, then I always get to take this way, and I show you the same line: b4, b5, b6, bishop comes here. There's always some issues, especially with the rook coming up to a6 after they push b6 if they need to, and then the knight of course is here at that point. Castle, we can double this rook from the f file to the a file, and it gets ridiculous. I mean, I know this so deep that it's like when people play Caro card, I just smile, I just laugh, chuckle. It's just funny, right? I love it. I love playing against it. So the French I hate playing against because it's so theoretical and it's always solid. I mean, there's tactics in it. There's a lot, but there's always stuff like that. He out of book. I know there's always strong stuff like that in the French. So he goes knight d7, and I was like, this man has jumped off the deep end. I already got him. Now, it's not like this is a terrible move. On the engines list, it's probably like 3 or 4, honestly. Not the first move, not the second, maybe not even a third. It ain't that bad. But in human, you always have to have 2 evaluations. I tell all my students this. You have to have 2 evaluations. One is the engine and one is your own, the human evaluation. So human evaluation wise, this is not that good. I mean, like this does, I mean, first off, there's a book also as well I sent out to a lot of people. A lot of my students already know. Chess Fundamentals by Jose Capablanca, one of my favorite books ever, right? So knowing this, with that being said, he says try for refrain, not like you should not, don't do it. If you do, you lose. He just says refrain from moving a piece twice in the opening. So I've counted that you move this twice. Knight f6, knight d7. That's 2 times. So I'm sitting here like you moved it twice, so this should be an advantage somehow, some way. So I lived off that, and I'll show you what happens next. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Thanks for the follow. So he went knight d7, and I honestly didn't understand this move, but after I made my next move, which was just kind of automatic, he shows me quickly. Now, taking this could get crazy, and actually I can get in a lot of trouble if I take this pawn. If I take this pawn, whether I take it now or later, I can get in a lot of trouble. After I went through with the analysis, I was like, I'm so glad I didn't take that pawn. Oh my goodness, it was so tempting. But there's some lines where like, if you take this, he gets counterplay. Let me actually show you what happened. So knight d2, I just developed. Why? Because why not? I mean, I need to keep the development going. Again, Chess Fundamentals is like focus on development and castle first. Really nothing else much you should be doing besides developing and castling in the opening. So I know that. I'm just going to get the piece out. Because I mean, I know he has this. I could have taken this pawn. You know what? I don't know. I don't feel like calculating all that stuff. Principally speaking and fundamentally and most solid, just develop a piece. Knight d2. Then he plays e5. I was like, okay, it's about to get crazy. Now, if I move this bishop, he's going to shut down the center, and I'm going to have some problems. And then he can easily defend this by bringing the knight back to f6. It's going to get kind of wild, and it's not something I'm looking for right now, especially with him locking up the center. It could easily happen, so I actually just captured this. I just took here, and there was a line with knight to c5. There was a line with knight to c5, and that's where if I would go knight c5, queen takes d5, bishop e6, queen f3, and then g5. The engine gave g5. I'm like, who sees that? What? And then I was like, what if I take it? Then knight takes e5, and then it was just like, he's better. It was like -2, but it wasn't clear. It was like a, how though? How? You know, like the engine sees everything, but like, I was like, how? So, I was going to get in trouble. I thought I was I guess he saw this too, because knight g5 is madness. Absolutely madness. Like, who thinks of that? Like, it was just like weird, but knight c5. And he did not play this, and it was going to get complicated. I also saw this line. If I go knight c5, I was like, well, what if he goes here? I was like, what if I just back up? He has this move. I actually do this in the 4 pawns attack in the King's Indian defense when I'm playing with the black pieces. I've done this before. Queen takes b2. That's really nice because after snaps, you snap a piece. Hello, big fella. That's check. GG. Start a new one. That's a whole piece. So take the queen. It's over. So go back. I was like, oh man, I can't fall into that. And then if I take this, it's the same thing. In between move. Zischen Zug. Check. Take the queen back. Simple. So I would have to go something like queen b5, but I think he had a cool move like queen d8. I was like, what does this move do? Queen d8. Well, my queen is actually very short on spaces, big fella. It has nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And his bishop is trapped, and he's threatening a6. As simple as that, and I'm losing the game. And I was like, dang, bro, this is deep. I got to be careful. So only thing I could have did there, I think, after knight c5 was... Wait, what does the engine say I'm supposed to do after knight c5? It was not queen takes d5, though. I know that one. It was the best move is queen c2 and let him take on b2, followed by knight b3. Wow. Like unbelievable. And it's still even. It's still even after that. Still even. But he didn't go for this line. He didn't go for this at all. That would have been very complicated for both of us. At this point, I mean, I kind of knew he probably wasn't going to go for this either because he was thinking so long. I mean, by this point, we're on move 9, and I had to be up 25, 30 minutes. On move 9, I'm already up 30 minutes. So I'm like, if we keep at this pace, you're going to be down an hour. And in 9 moves, you're going to be down about an hour if you keep it up the same pace. So E5, pawn takes, queen takes. I took with the knight, so I had a choice of taking with the pawn or the knight. But here, actually, the engine prefers pawn takes, which I could have stayed with this. But because he made it a little different, I did the same in a way. And check this out, guys. I can play 2 ways. I can take this way, where I can get this. But at the end of the day, I did not like how cramped my knight was going to be. And this is not the same theory I studied. After, you know, the knight's usually not able to take this like this. The knight's usually still on F6. And I still have a pawn on D4. So this is, it is completely different. You know, it's just completely different than the line that I know and prep for with B4, B5 and B6 and all this other stuff. It's just different. So I was like, if this is different, I'm not about to stick to that. I'm actually just going to play fundamentally sound. And now we have to realize this is what grandmasters do. At a level, we have to understand, what does the piece look like if I take the other way? First off, I take this, and this is the move I did quite quickly as well too. I thought about it and I was like, you know what? This is just a way to take. Why? Because of an in-game sense. Begin with the end in mind. If you're looking at it in-game sense, this is a weak pawn, very weak pawn, and it's isolated as well. And I understand that the best square, or the most important square with an isolated pawn is the square in front of the pawn. So I control the square in front of the pawn. So I should just be straight up with an advantage the entire game because of this isolated pawn. And then I get the castle quickly. And I'm okay. I have a great game here. Excellent. Excellent plan here. Excellent end game. Honestly, at this point, this is what they say. You're playing for 2 results, meaning a win or a draw, not a loss. So at this point, I was like, I'm like playing for 2 results. Black can't be better anywhere. So instead of knight takes B3, so I played knight takes B3. He took on E5. Now I have 2 options here. I can take, and this is called, like, for all my basketball fans out here, all my students know, a lot of times I actually use basketball references. This is like, I can keep the fast break going, or I can just reset and kind of like let him do his thing too. And you know what that means is that for here, he's hitting this bishop. I have an option of moving it, which means if I move it, well, then he gets to move A6 or bishop D7 or bishop D6 or anything he wants to play. If I go bishop C2, same thing. I don't care where. I'll just put an arrow on the board. He can do it. Now, if I castle queenside, he snaps. I'm not a fan of that. I don't want him to actually have 2 bishops and me have 1. So, you know, and in certain cases. So what's funny is I just said that, but this is the move that I made. Bishop takes C5 to keep the fast break going. Meaning, like, after bishop takes, he has to respond. This is a forcing move. So I am the one kind of controlling the flow. Knight takes, bishop B5 check. I'm controlling the flow still. So now when I castle, it's with here. And if he bishop D7, I'm going to take. He's going to take with the knight. I castle queenside, and I bully this pawn for the rest of the game. That's really it. That was my thinking there. So now, here is the move that threw me off here. This man threw me all the way off. And I'm like, what? Like, he made the move, and I just almost like stared at him like, bro, you serious? No, that don't work. He played king E7. So I sat here and I was like, king E7, big fella, really? So you gonna tell me right now you about to play king E7 and you think you still gonna win this game? So I had to think and sit here and realize, like, what is this about? This got to be losing. This got to be. So after king E7, I sat here for a while. What do you think I played next? White pieces. I sat here for a while and I was like, this got to be wrong. This has to be wrong. So what did I play? Knight E to D4. That's a move. Castle. I think you meant Dota put an extra dash, but not the 0. I think you meant castle queenside. Knight at 4. I remember being shocked when I watched live. Yeah, Matt was watching. Shout out to Matt Smith watching. He was watching live. He's one of the students, and he's getting better. What's up, Matt? He actually he was watching the games live. It's postponed. Bone Cloud. You're in trouble. I bet rocks. Castle queenside from V Smooth. Everybody's saying castle queenside, but a lot of times here's the thing you want to know. What I like to do sometimes is like, okay, I know this is this is what Magnus does too. You remember, I can't remember what game it was in the World Championship, but remember when Magnus played Knight D3 in the Petrov? Do you guys remember that? And he just threw everybody off. It was just like a new move. Oh my goodness, I didn't know you can make. the regular move that a knight can go to. I didn't know you could actually do that in chess. You know, it was just a huge thing. And honestly, it is, because knight d3 is like, who does that? Don't nobody play knight d3 in a Petrov. And he did, and he got a draw, you know, but still it's the fact that he did it. He can do it. And so castle queenside was the most common. Everything you said was the common moves, guys. Everything you said was common. So I made the uncommon. And sometimes you want to go into that kind of mindset. Should I play common or uncommon? Especially when he makes this kind of move, it calls for drastic measures. I need to get to this king now, because if he consolidates, I could be worse because he has two bishops. I mean, yeah, I'm playing for two results, a win or a draw, because this pawn's here and stuff. But I hit him with this move, f4, drop the mic, walk away. Because of course I know for instance, and I also know that he's like he's thinking a lot. So if I mix it up, castle queenside probably what he expected. F4 is a little bit different. A little bit different. Poggers, right, Jigga. Man, how did I not see this live? I know it's sweet. So I played F4. That's not common. Honestly, I mean, it's not common. Nobody said it in the chat. No, everybody said knight F4, castle queenside, knight E D4. Knight FD, knight BD4. No one said F4. No one said F4 in the chat. So I played F4. I played F4 because I understand that his king's in the center. And this knight, once again, how many times has this knight moved, guys? Can someone in the chat count and tell me how many times has this knight moved? 4 times. 4 or 5. Let's count it. Let's count it. Knight f6. Oh, that's not the move. He didn't go there. But knight f6 was 1, then 2, then 3. Now he's about to move it a 4th time, guys. A 4th time. Remember this. Capablanca, chess fundamentals, refrain from moving a piece twice in the opening. He didn't move this thing 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's about to move it his 4th time. So I know I have to be better. I have to be. So after f4, he goes knight c4. I didn't consider this one at all. Everything else loses. Like every other move is just not that good. It just doesn't work. But this move, I was like, I didn't even consider this being a move. I didn't even see it. So I was like, I thought it just didn't work, right? So let me watch this. This is why looks are deceiving. Oh my goodness. Knight to c4. By the way, the eval, let me tell you guys what the engine evaluation is. Can anyone guess what the evaluation is? +3. We have a +3 from Don't Cry, plus 2.6 from King Wiki, 4 Queens with 0.7, plus 1.5 from Incognito, 1.2 from Dota. Everybody wrong. -1. Everybody's wrong. It's 0.5. 0.5. I was like, bro, what? That's what. And I was like, I just turned the engine off. Like, I'm not listening to you today. You don't even like stop. You're not even looking at the game. You know. So it's just funny. It's funny, but. You know, that's why you have to have 2 evaluations. One is a human evaluation, and one is the other evaluation with the engine. The engine will crush all your hopes and dreams. You might have thought you had a brilliancy. Actually, Matt Smith in the chat, we just talked about that today. You might have a brilliancy. I'm like, man, I thought this was brilliant. Look at this. When I had a queen sat game back in 2014 in the Millionaire Chess when I won $20,000, I played a queen sack on a 2,500 FIDE rated player. I beat him. But the engine was like, no, big fella. All he has to do is like this sequence of moves, probably like 12 moves long. Then he'll be winning. After 12 moves, I'm the engine. Drop the mic. And I was like, dang, bro. Wow. So, but, you know, it always crushes your hopes and dreams. So that's okay, though. You have to have 2 evaluations. So thanks for the follow. DJ K, thanks for the follow. Maybe just 2 weakening. Right. So what I did is I just castled queenside. I have no idea. I mean, not no idea, but it's so rare and so weird to see this position being equal. It's so weird to see this. So weird that the engine says that this is slightly better for white. Not winning, not crushing, not like his bishop ain't out and the rooks aren't connected and everything I have on the board is developed. And this is equal. Weird. Absolutely weird. Absolutely weird. So after how I know, right? I know, but the engines can calculate everything. Depth of 1,050, right? Just everything's a draw with them all the time. Everything's a draw. 2 bishops, I guess. Yeah. if you play it correctly, the two bishops. So let me show you. This is why I named this looks are deceiving. Looks are very deceiving, right? So after this, he played. I thought this man was a wizard, actually. Watch this. Watch this. Because I was like, what? Who is this man? Who are you? It was almost like, who are you? What are you doing here? I know what you're not human, you know, because after Castle Queenside, he played Knight B6. First off, I was like, what? Wait, what? You know, like the coach emote, chess coach. So I was literally sitting here like, bro, you moved this knight so many times that you should just resign. Like, it's not even right. You should stop doing this. And then, you know, there's also a pressure factor that, like, what if you lose this game as white? How are you going to feel? How are you going to feel? You might want to just, you know what? I ain't feeling it. I just want to drop out the tournament. You could be winning every game and lose this one and be like, I just don't want to play no more. I'm gonna retire, you know, because it feel like you just straight up winning and you're not. Should be happy to see a retreating move. 93. I might start 93. I might start to sweat. Well, Rook F2 though. I have Rook F2. It was some lines in there with Rook F2, and then Rook G1, and then I can take first. It was like weird. It was weird. I wasn't afraid of 93. Knight B6. I thought this man was a genius. I actually told him in post game analysis. I was like, this man is a genius because I can't really touch this knight. It's also defending my whole game here. The whole game is about this pawn right now. So I was like, this man's a genius. So I was like, okay, Knight B6 is nice because I can't hit this directly right now. It's going to take a few moves. And all he needs is a few moves to consolidate. So I can't do this. So I was like, that was nice. But he did move this knight 5 times. So I'm like, okay, this is your 5th time moving it. It's got to be wrong. So, of course, rather quickly, I play Rook H to E1. Black to move, guys. What do you play here? King F6, Bishop E6, King F6 from Jar. Yep. It's King F6, guys. He played King F6 and I almost jumped out the chair. Like, I was like, yo, this man, what? Are you playing with me? Stop. And then you have that, you have that same thought like, yo, what if this man win this game? Like, but I was like, no, I can't think in the losing mindset. But I'm like, bro, King F6, I can't do nothing about this. And I was sitting here like, whoa, did I do something wrong? Then you start thinking about your life. Dang, did I have the right breakfast? Dang, did I like sleep wrong? Did I say something wrong to somebody? Like, what happened? How did I get here? You know, you start contemplating your whole life when this happens. King F6, I was like, what? King F6? And it was okay. It was okay. I was like, yo, looks are deceiving. That is exactly why I named it this today. Looks are deceiving. Oh man, he wasn't scared. He's trying to, yeah, no, he's trying everything in the book. I couldn't believe it. Yes, exactly. Like anything. I'm naming like, yo, man, it's my life. Is this what life is? Is this what life is really about right here? King F6, bro. King F6. And he's okay. I was like, wow. So I looked for every mate in the book. I probably sat here. This was my longest think, was right here. Trying to find the correct plan. Because here, I couldn't believe that it was equal. And honestly, I was like, how did he find this? This guy's a chess teacher. He's breaking every rule in the book. Oh, he's a chess coach. And he is breaking so many rules. But that's the best chess teachers do break the most rules because we have to in certain areas. But man, this guy, I told him after, you know, because I caught up with him when we was checking the standings and stuff. I was like, man, you're a wizard. I was like, bro, that defense was immaculate. It was just so good because I attack and I use everything. I'm sacking pieces. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I will do whatever to win in this tactics battle. And he just played King F6. And I was like, there's nothing. There's nothing. So I played Knight G3 just to keep the knight over here. I was like, you know what? There's mating nets and like Rook E5 and then bring the bishop back. This takes 3 moves, by the way. That's mate. It is mate, but it takes 3 moves. By the way, we didn't count if he plays G6, H6, or H5, or move the bishop somewhere where he cuts off Knight H5. So it's still realistically not a mate. But it is a mate if I get the rook here, somehow get the bishop here, and it's my move, Knight H5 is mate. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. So I play Knight G3. I got open, guys, look at this. Knight's looking good, bishop's out, rook's hitting both open files. But it's equal if you find the right sequence. What is black's move? That's correct. Don't cry wolf. That's correct. In a way, it does favor. But also, bishop takes e5 was an option. It was a big option. G6, I consider G6. I consider G6 being an option. On G6, I was just going to go rook e8, though. Rook e8 and double up. That was really it. Now, again, he made another wizardry move. Wizardry. Like, it was like, what? Bro, I was like, who is this man? Like, again, it was like, psychologically, he beat me psychologically, okay? He beat me straight up. Psychologically, I lost this game. But I won. I still won this game. I'm going to show you how, guys. But psychologically, I definitely lost this game. He moved his knight 5 times. His king's on f6. He pushed his pawn, you know, like, I got both open files. I am developed, and it's equal. It's like you're throwing everything at the man. Everything. You're doing everything right, the book says. And you almost losing. Crazy. It was like absolutely ridiculous. Definitely a weird game, to say the least. He played h5, and at this point, I'm like, man, I can't go. Like, if I go h4, my pawn structure looks crazy. He's a plot armor. Man, he did, I mean, he did so much here that it was ridiculous. Rook e5 kind of blunted now. After h4, knight check, king g6, bishop d3 check, king h6. And the king kind of sitting there. This knight looking awkward. I don't have a check. f6 is coming. It's like, what? How is this even possible? Who is this man once again? Like, I can't understand it. I don't understand it. So he played h5. Very strong stuff. Very strong. So what I did, guys, I went with a sequence of moves here. I went, first off, what would you do? Let's see what the chat says. Chat, what would you play with white here? He plays h5. He's trying to consolidate. g6 is coming next. If he gets his pieces out, not only is he developed, but he could be slightly better. I mean, he does have this issue here, but he could be slightly better. His bishop is strong without even moving. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, they ain't even move. And the bishop's just on the board. They just there. Hey, hello, you know we here. Yeah, we here just so we don't get fined. You know how it goes. So they ready. They sitting there. Rook e5 and go crazy. Okay, I ain't jumping off the deep end. I ain't, not yet. Not yet. Okay. Did you consider h3, g4 before playing knight g3? I did, but I thought it was too slow. I can't let him consolidate. I cannot allow him to get his bishops out and then be like, you know, because he could have played king somewhere and bishop out, and he's fine. So I have to keep the momentum in my court. I got to keep the ball running. I got to keep the fast break going. Just like in basketball, the fast break team is like the one that's running, always running. And that's how I felt here. I just always had to keep the pressure up. So, okay, I thought knight f1 to go to e3. Same thing. Don't cry wolf. It was too slow. Knight f1 just to go to e3. Then he goes bishop e6 and defends it. Then if I put the knight on d4, it doesn't really do much because I'm not hitting it anymore. Bishop gets out. I might as well call it a draw, which I'm like, he's happy. This is a win for him. If he draw this game, it's a win. He moved the knight 5 times, king f6. You know what? Next game, I'm going to play h4 and just like play like that because that's how he on that kind of game. It was crazy. Hey, Quint. Rook d4. a4 from King Goldman. a4 was a possibility, but he has a6. I wasn't into a6. Rook e8 all day. Rook e8 from Warp. That's right, guys. I play Rook e8. I play Rook e8 because it's the most active. Rook e8 to trap his bishops. Yep, that's right. It's the most active. This man play h4. Yeah, he might. I mean, if he draw or win this game, he is probably liable to play h4 and be okay his next game. Move 1, h4, and be fine. Like how? He look at his last game. I mean, so h4 straight up. But rook to e8, I just tied everything down. And I noticed that if he allows me to take this rook, this knight is out of the game. This chess is a wild game, as we all know. But the stronger you get, the more principles you have to add on at the same time with everything else. So you got this plan, then you got these principles, then you got these tactics, then you have counting and math and simple math. And simple math here is if he moves his bishop, when I take this, his knight is out of the game temporarily for at least 2 moves, which gives me 2 extra moves. That's a GM level there. It's a Jedi mind trick for you guys. But understanding that this bishop can't move either. And also, you know, I just got some pressure. I don't even know what the next move is. I just know that I have pressure here. There's also a famous GM quote saying that, yeah, I don't always make I don't see all the moves. I don't see 15 moves in a row. I just see one, but it's always the best move. Now, of course, that's a GM, you know, monstrous man himself, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of power to that. And I felt that right here, rook e8, not knowing really where to go next, but not knowing where he's either going to go next either. So after rook to e8, he plays bishop e6. I was like, okay, cool, perfect. So it says rook e8, bishop g4, rook takes bishop d1, rook takes f8. Ooh, that would have been nice. But actually, he played bishop to e6, so I snapped, nothing else to do. knight takes, and now, guys, what move do I make here? What would you play now with the white pieces? This is one of my favorite games. Quentin Tanksley says F5. Thanks, Canty. Now the GM makes a lot of sense. They are all giant monsters. That's right, King Wiki. F5 or knight F1. Again, I never went for knight F1 because, like, this is why you have to keep the pressure, guys. I mean, if you don't learn nothing today, keep the pressure rolling. If you got the ball in your court, keep it there. Because as soon as you give it back, it could be, you could never get it back. So if I go knight F1, he has bishop D6, and the bishop just gets out. I play G3. He can even probably play H4, try to open the rook file up. This bishop is hitting the pawn. He doing well. He doing well. He is fine. He totally fine. C5, meaning I think you mean C4. Knight D4, and that's actually with an N, Jigga, knight D4. F5 looks good. I played F5. Now, watch this, guys. Watch this. F5, I did play F5. Now, what do you play on H4? What do you play on H4? Uh-oh. Because this is what he did. He played H4. Because I calculated this because every other line loses. If he takes this pawn, he would just be straight up losing. H4 is the only way to play for counterplay here. And he played it almost immediately. H4. This was like one of the only moves he made like immediately. Was this one? Because he was still in, he got in time trouble. And I'm going to show you what happens. But H4. Now it's about to get crazy. Obviously, you have to take the bishop. Moving the knight just doesn't make sense. You went all this way just to move the knight. You might as well just moved it last move instead of giving up this pawn. So I did. I took it. F takes E6. That's right. Rook and Morty. That is a sweet name. Welcome to the stream, bro. So pawn takes E6. I took. He took on G3. Now, this is why, you know, even looks are deceiving in like not even just this game, but period. For some reason, I thought I could never go H3. For some reason, I didn't even see it. I didn't even consider it as a move. I knew I was always going to take this at the end of the line that I was going to do here. But I saw the fact that in the engine post-game analysis, I'm like, oh, that's legal. I didn't even know that. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, I didn't even consider it. I didn't even consider H3. But looking back at it, I was like, oh, you know what? It's fine. I mean, I played it correctly in my eyes, too, as well, with a little bit of compensation and stuff. So what do I play now is why here. This is why I love tactics. And the Jedi Mastery is always the best. So what happens? H3, then Rook X H3 becomes possible. Well, not really, because the bishop can't get here. It may be a thing. I mean, I just don't realistically think he's gonna get away with that. Because then he only playing with a bishop and a knight trying to queen this pawn. It just gotta be wrong. But this game was already crazy, so I don't expect something crazy. I mean, I don't like not expect anything crazy that happens, right? So okay, what do I play here? White to move. He takes my knight. I took his bishop. He takes my knight. Rook F1 from AB. Rook D5. Okay, Rook D5. Actually, if we're not trying to jump off the deep end, it's okay. Okay, I did that. Actually, how to jump off the deep end 101 was in round 3. So that's on YouTube. That's on YouTube. That's round 3. You can go check that one, but not this one. This one's not how to jump off the deep end. Rook D5 runs into pawn takes and then queen. Okay. Rook D5. We have Rook F1, like if the rook on the back rank. Rook H3, G2, G1. Right. Rook F1, Knight C7, Rook E1. Yeah, it's Rook F1, guys. I play Rook F1. Now, there's a few lines here. Rook F1 check. If he goes King E7, then I can just take this. No, there were so many lines, honestly, to say the least. It was just so many lines. But he took this. He went for this line, and this is where I became like, okay, it start understanding how your pieces work. And this is a deeper understanding of chess here is when you understand how your pieces are working and what their job is to do. So I played Knight D4 check. So now this is a free move to get this knight from out of the game to in the game. Check. Okay, now if he goes King E7, notice this, the bishop now takes a second move. It takes 2 moves to get the bishop out, which gains me a tempo. Tempo is time, and the more tempo you get, the more time you gain, the better and the stronger moves you can find. So King E7, or even both of these squares allow this bishop, it takes longer to get developed. I'm also hitting this pawn once I capture back. So I'm keeping pressure. Again, fast break, keep the ball in my court. Knight D4 check. King D6, I take here. Now I take the pawn. Yeah, I got double pawns, but it's kind of hard to hit these. I got compensation, and he is like undeveloped, honestly. So I got some compensation for this double pawn, you know. And honestly, this was not the position I was hoping to get or thought I would get when the man moved a knight 5 times and put a king on F6. So I was already like, man, well, I feel like I have the counterplay. So he plays f6. I immediately go rook e1. Don't even think about this. Rook e1. He plays knight c7. I saw this. I played bishop a4. Rook here. And then what do you think I played now, guys? What do you think I played now? Okay, fast break to force your opponent to blunder. In a way, it can be. If you keep the ball in your court and you keep moving, not like moving is in like helping them or not helping them, you know, developing and etc. like that. But b4 is the move I played. That's right, Quentin. That's right. The knight maneuver is known as the Rambo. Wow. Okay. So b4, I played b4 because this is a beautiful mate. I mean, come on now. It's just beautiful. Let's just put it on the board just so you guys can see. Rook takes g2, knight f5. That's checkmate. Oh my goodness. That's why I played bishop a4. Because I was like, oh, if I get the knight to f5, that's mate. That's a sweet mate. So I put b4 here just to see if he would go for it. Of course, he would miss it. And at this point, I know I'm up like an hour 30 minutes, hour 40, something like that. But I know for a fact that he was starting to get in time trouble here. He probably had 10 minutes left, and I'm up an hour and 30, something like that. Because, you know, I calculate fast. I calculate very, very fast, and I calculate a lot because I look at a lot of moves. I study very hard. My prep is good out the opening, so I can start using my real time in the middle game and the end game. That is a key. If your opening is right, but of course, it's always like chess is tricky because you don't really want to study so many openings until you're over 2200. Then when you're over, then you got time to study that stuff because you've mastered other fundamentals and stuff. But beforehand, you know, like for me right now, it's easy for me to get through the opening. It's very quick. I use most of my time in the middle and end game. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to have 10 minutes like he has right now trying to figure this position out. So that's what happened. Rook h2. I played b4. He played g6, stopping knight f5. And then I just defended the pawn. There's no way to stop it. I study openings by only playing the London. Okay, there you go, big fella. So rook e2 is on the board. I defended. He goes check, automatically getting a piece out. I just put my king off the back rank. He goes bishop g7, threatening f5. I just let him do it anyway. Bishop c2, I just start attacking stuff. Every move, attack something. Every move, every move. f5, knight f3. Rook here, a4. And this move is key because I had to stop the knight from coming in here because then he got play on this pawn. So I'll play a4 first just to be aware of the position, what's going on. So he plays bishop f6 because my next move is going to be knight g5 or knight h4, actually bullying this pawn. So he's very sharp. I mean, this man was sharp. He saw my next move was coming here because I was definitely about to snag this pawn. And he played bishop f6. And I was like, man, this guy's good. Like, dang, he good. Then I played bishop b3 and then he played g5. I'm like, man, he's strong, bro. So I put the bishop right back here and defended and attacked this pawn. At this point, I think he got 3 minutes, something like that. Very close to 3 minutes. So bishop c2, he plays g4. I play knight e2 because I don't want him to take. I need to keep more pieces on the board because if they start coming off, it's very drawish. So, and also, I mean, his pawns are, you know, maybe this pawn could be passed or something. So I'll put this knight here just to chill and relax and see what he does. I'm also hitting this pawn. So he plays d4, and this was the blunder here. Actually, not even blunder, but at this point, black still says like it's equal. I mean, the engine, right? But he plays d4, and immediately the evaluation changes to +1. Because after takes, my king gets away, and there's so many squares. There's so many weaknesses, and his pieces aren't that active. The difference in our position is the activity and the chemistry of the pieces. If you understand that, you can start playing. You'll be wondering, like, how do we have the same material and me even having double pawns? Again, looks are deceiving, but I'm just clearly winning here. I'm double pawns, you know, and my pieces are a little bit more active. And they don't even look active. They just all next to each other. But they're active. Knight c4 is a move. This rook is hitting the file. Bishop f5. There's mating threats. This knight is not that good. This bishop's kind of hitting air. And his rook is doing nothing in the game right now. Nothing. Why did he play d4? Well, that's what time trouble does, big fella. It gets the best of anyone. Time trouble. So I think he had 3 minutes. 3 minutes or less, actually, here. 3 minutes or less. So he plays rook here quite quickly because I think he got down to like almost a minute. And then I played knight c4. He played king here, and it's a blunder. Game over, GG. And I think I was actually winning after this anyway, because king, if he goes back, then I could have pinned this and won the bishop. So he plays king here, so I don't pin him. White to move. How do you find a sequence of moves that causes black to resign here? Rook e7 from Don't Cry Wolf, he says. Rook e7. Rook e8 from Quentin. Well, rook e8 ain't trying to jump off the deep end, big fella. Don't do it. Oh, he says rook e7. Okay. Rook e7 followed by rook d7 from 4 queens. That is correct. That is 1000% correct, guys. I play rook e7. rook e7, okay. Because if he goes knight e6, I think it's just check. Yeah, knight e6 was a move. I could check him here, and then I'll check him here, and then I pick up the knight. So that was that line. And the knight is also threatened. I'm also threatening to check him and pick up this bishop, because if he allows me to, like, let's say, I don't even know, knight move a6, rook check, and then I pick up the bishop, because there's no squares that the king can go to that defends this bishop. So after rook here, he plays king c6, and I sat here for a while because I knew b5 was winning, but I always, you know, I tell my students this: when you find a good move, look for a better one. So I was looking for other sequences, like does knight a5 work? Do I have any bishop moves or something and I can get on this diagonal? And I was like, I can't find anything. So I just need to go b5 and take on b7 afterwards, after I win the piece. Because b5, and I played here and he just resigned. After this, he also had a minute on the clock, 1 minute. Again, I'm up an hour and something a lot of times. So b5 check. I play here and he just resigned. I mean, you're down a piece, you got a minute left. It's a tough game. But he could have went for this. I mean, and honestly, this is just winning. It is. It's tough. It's still some fight left. There's still some fight left. But white just ends up winning. And of course, I'm trying to keep these 2 pawns on the board so it doesn't be drawish. But other than that, he just resigned on b5 check right here. This is round 5. I'm hot at this point. I won 2 in a row. Right back to back. Feeling good. And also notice this, guys, I was onto something. Trend-wise, I was onto something. I noticed in the first round, I was very prepped on my opening. I was very prepped and won the game. Of course, he spent a lot of time. Round 2, I lost to a grandmaster, of course, Andrew Gurovich. I actually ended up a half a point ahead of him at the end with 5.5. He ended with 5 in the tournament. But I lost that game based off of not knowing what position I was actually in because I didn't have experience there. Round 3, I jumped off the deep end. I just was like, you know, went in the elevator, made a move, went up to the elevator top floor, jumped off the deep end. It was over. Then round 4 is the game where I was up another hour and a half on time based off the opening. Round 5, same thing. So I'm on to a trend of, like, if I keep studying like this, the way that I'm doing, the method, I'm always going to stay up on time, which means I'm going to always have the ball in my court. I know what the next moves are. I'm prepared and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And it showed that in the rest of the tournament as I ended up with 5.5 out of 9. And back-to-back showing Chicago Open, 5.5, and World Open, 5.5 out of 9. Both basically norm scores, just not the norm criteria. So, but pretty good stuff, man. That's the World Open, round 5. Thank you so much. This is for the YouTube channel, by the way, too. So let me stop the recording.